Okay, hi everyone, my name is Jans Cham, and this week we're going to talk about materials for cultural awareness and how to improve students' cultural awareness in classroom environment. And before starting the video, let's check my table of contents. First of all, we will talk about the introduction and overview of cultural awareness. What is cultural awareness? And key concepts of it, literature and cultural awareness, practical approaches, teaching strategies, the role of the teacher, benefits of cultural awareness, conclusion, and done. So, let's start with the introduction of cultural awareness. Cultural awareness involves developing an open-minded, internal understanding of how different groups of people think, feel, and behave. It's more than just knowledge of cultural facts. It encompasses a deep, empathetic application of the perspectives and experiences of other people. So it's important to improve their empathy, the cultural awareness of students to create a better and peaceful classroom environment. And why we should improve cultural awareness. I answered beforehand, but let's check my slide. Enhance communication skills. Understanding cultural nuances helps students communicate more effectively in a second language. So, the more you improve your communication skills, the more you improve your um, in second language and in your native language. So you not just also focus on your target language, but also your native language when you improve that cultural awareness and promotes empathy, as I said before, encourages students to see the world from diverse perspectives, fostering empathy and reducing cultural prejudice. And when we met with someone in our classroom from another country, another land we never knew before, and he or she gives us a new perspectives to understand the world, right? Their food, their music, their beliefs, everything differs. And sometimes it's literally so fun to learn this, but as the text states, there can be prejudice, and it's important to get rid of them. Supports critical thinking. Analyzing cultural differences and similarities encourages deeper critical thinking and self-reflection. Of course, it helps our critical thinking. And we not last week, but we talked about critical thinking and how to improve it. Key concepts, literature as a tool for cultural awareness. Before starting this, cultural awareness is not a lecture name, right? It's not like that. Good morning, students. Good morning, teacher. Today, let's talk about culture. No, it's not something like that. And cultural awareness is not the fifth skills, listening, reading, writing, speaking, and cultural awareness. No, you should integrate it into your lessons. While teaching vocabulary, it's not impossible for grammar, but for skills, it is important for you to choose the good topics to improve their cultural awareness and who plays a critical role here, of course, the teachers. So while picking our contents, while creating a story, you should consider this integrating into cultural awareness and how we can use it, of course, by literature. Literature as a tool for cultural awareness. Literature serves a powerful tool for cultural learning by engaging readers emotionally and cognitively. Through literature, learners experience the culture implicitly, filling gaps with their own experiences and emotions. Of course, they have a background information, but with that way, they're filling their gaps and they're getting rid of their prejudice or bias, and they get into literature, and it's also good for us, good for them. Combining language, literature, and culture in the mind, learning is most effective when it integrates cognitive and affective dimensions. Responding to cultural texts involves connecting new experiences with previous knowledge, as I said before, the background information and future expectations. So, how we can improve that skill? Of course, by literature, by poems, by short stories, by showing postcards, And I think it's literally a good way. When I'm searching for it, I saw that some postcards about it, and I have actually some activities for that. We have plenty of genres to use it. Literature and cultural awareness, role of literature. So, emotional and cognitive engagement. Literature captures the imagination and emotions of readers, making cultural learning more impactful through stories, characters, settings. Students experience different cultural contexts firsthand. And if you find an interesting story for students, then everything's done. They just want to know everything about it. And deeper understanding of cultural context. It helps students and historical, social context that shape cultural norms and behaviors. For example, they read a story about a war or something like an immigrant story, and they starting to empathize and they learn the history and literature and cultural awareness. Three of us happen at the same time. I have an example. A poem reflecting the struggles of a marginalized community can highlight cultural issues and provoke thoughtful decisions, also critical thinking. So, finding poems, dramas, and short stories about that social norms and behaviors, or as I said, wars, something like that, also help them to understand the importance of that cultural norms and issues and variety of genres and formats. Incorporating diverse literary genres like poems, short stories, novels, plays, films can enrich cultural learning. Individually, we can recommend them to watch movies or plays, or we can take them to go through a theater, which can improve their cultural awareness. But in classroom environment, I personally think poems, um, short stories, and novels not work best, but those are okay. And we can give them homeworks by read that novel. Let's discuss about that novel, settings, characters. What did you learn? What was so interesting for you? And go on. We can use that genres. Each genre provides unique perspectives and approach to cultural themes especially in novels, because there are plenty of characters. Everything has their own perspective, their own life story, and it's literally so effective and rich about literature and cultural awareness. And I have two examples for you. Since we are teaching English, I gave them examples for American families or American culture. The first one is Still I Rise by Maya Angelou explores themes of resilience and empowerment within the context of African American culture. We can teach other cultures too, but I said we're teaching English. Another example, A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry addresses racial tensions and dreams in an African American family. So those are my examples. There are plenty of examples about Americans, about British people, and we can use them in our classroom environments in speaking class, reading, vocabulary, goes on. Practical approaches, teaching strategies. Use of culturally rich texts. In internet, there are plenty of it. Search for it and use it. Let them imagine the background of that text. Let them critical think about the text and ask their opinions. Let them see through their perspectives. Encouraging personal connections and reflections. Activities promoting empathy and understanding. For example, we read a text about an African American or an Indian who lives in America, and if the main character were you, what would you do? How would you go through that hard decisions or that hard environment of the country? What would you do? Empathize and Try to use your imagination and try to use your critical thinking and so on. And examples of classroom activities. I love three of them, but the Global Pen Pulse is my favorite. Let's check them. Cultural diaries. Have students keep a journal of their cultural observations and reflections as they engage with different texts and experiences. I love that activity. Another one is cultural interviews, which I think works best. Assign students to interview family members or community figures about their cultural traditions and histories, not also people from abroad, but in our own country. Cultural awareness is a cultural awareness. So there are plenty of families who came from different ethnicity, different cities of Turkey. Let's hear all of them's interviews and discuss about it. And the last one, which is my favorite, Global Pen Pals, connected classrooms in other countries for letter exchanges, allowing students to learn directly from their peers in different cultural settings. I did it when I was in high school and I had a friend from Russia. She was so cute. We're still in touch. That's why I love that Global Pen Pal so much because I definitely say that it improved my language skills and of course cultural awareness because she was always talking about their family and what she was doing in a day, and it was so fun. I will do that as a teacher in future. And benefits of cultural awareness: enhance empathy and global understanding. We talked about it. Prepare students for intercultural communication, deepens self-awareness and critical thinking. Okay, now let's check my summary. What we learned. We learned importance of integrating cultural awareness in language teaching and effective use of literature and culturally rich materials and how to use them, how to motivate students to improve their cultural awareness and long-term benefits for students, personal and professional lives. We didn't talk about professional lives, but when they go abroad or when they work in an international company, they have to learn that because everyone differs, everyone comes from a different culture and different country, and you should respect their culture and use your empathy. And that was our conclusion. Before ending the video, I would like to ask a question to my classmates, future teachers. How would you develop cultural awareness in the classroom? I talked about the global pen and the other ones interweaving. So I want to hear your opinion.